Hello everyone, and peace of Christ to all of you. Please invite your friends and share the video as soon as possible after we finish with your page in YouTube. Yesterday we got strike in YouTube, and the excuse is the chat. However, that will not disturb us really. Still, you can run your chat in your own channel if you podcast it live, or people they can post comment in my page. We have a debate between Dr. Take a note, he's a doctor. Dr. Shabir Ali. These days everybody's a doctor. I'm the only one who have only driving license. And brother Anthony Rogers. Now you can watch the debate and you will see that the Muslims are very upset from this debate, saying that one of those Muslims who always dogs Christians who follow them, harassed him, you know their address, etc. He came to my chat sometime. He said, did this guy ever won a debate? As if he can do better. But you know, the issue is, this guy, he said what every Muslim he say, and he is just a copy-paste of Islam. Sometimes you feel like Muslims are people who they are programmed to say things. Nobody even thinking. I will prove it to you when we play this video, and you will see that everything he said is what every Muslim say. So when the Muslim they blame him that he did not do good, that's very funny and very stupid. I mean, this is Islam, my friend. You cannot do good because Islam is stupid. So we will start playing, and I'm glad that the chat is off, so that will not take any of our concentration or take us out of the topic. And in the same time, you can leave your comment, and even you can put in the comment like the timing of your comment, which means like what part of the video you are responding to. Let us hear what this debate was about, and try not to laugh.
Well, I want to welcome everybody to this second discussion that we're going to have between our same two panel participants. On the first discussion, the topic of this discussion is Islamic monotheism pure? Again, please hold all applause.
Let us move this part a little bit. Let us hear Shabir Ali. Okay.
But for the moment, let's do this online. I'm also saddened by the fact that I just got news that a dear friend of mine is in a coma. I pray for him, and I ask you to pray for him as well. And I pray for everyone who is sick all around the globe. May God give them a quick and complete recovery.
Pray for people around the, I mean, are you allowed as a Muslim to pray for all people? That's not Islamic, and this is false. Muslims are not allowed to wish good things for those who they are not Muslims, and especially praying. Prayer is not for those who they are opposing Islam. So this is the first lie he just started. We pray for everybody. Yeah, right. Yeah, you can go right now and watch the prayer of the Muslims. May Allah curse you. May Allah stop the blood in you. May Allah, etc. May Allah kill you. This is the prayer, even Muslims versus Muslims. So what about Muslims versus Christians, like Shia and Sunni, etc.? So this is the first lie he started with, but let it go.
So let me move on then with my opening presentation. I'm going to start my timer here, realizing that I should have started earlier. So I'll make this 18 minutes just to be sure. Okay. So why do I say that Islamic monotheism is pure? Let me start by defining monotheism. It is the belief that there is only one God. For example, Paul says that there is no God but one in 1 Corinthians chapter 8, verse number 4. So that's a statement of monotheism. Then
so why Muslims they attack Paul and say he created the Christianity? He's just quoting for us what Paul said, and Paul said there's only one God. Oh, okay. But you Muslims, you say that Paul is the one who created Christianity. Oh, okay. Not to forget to mention that the Trinities exist in all the Gospel. Let us say we will take off all the everything written and done by Paul and put it in the side, as if it's not exist. You will find that the Trinity is all over the Bible, in the book of John, Luke, etc. But here you notice the hypocrisy. This is the same person, he says, Paul, he created a new version of Christianity, and now he is quoting Paul to prove that Christianity believed in one God. Take a note.
There is henotheism, which must be distinguished. That is the belief that there is only one God for us, without negating the possibility of there being other gods. That there may or may not be other gods out there, but for us there is only one God. That's called henotheism. An example of a statement to that effect is Paul saying, for even if there are so-called gods, whether in heaven or on earth, as indeed there are many gods and many lords, yet for us there is but one God, the Father. 1 Corinthians chapter 8, verses 9.
But you see, you just said Paul, he said there's only one God. So, but you just said he say so-called God. So those are not really God. People worship them. Like people worship the moon. People worship the sun. People worship Satan. So there is gods for people, but there's one God for us, which means the true God. Continue. One of the unique thing about Shabir Ali is the kind of a person who quote for you things, and those things will not sponsor his topic in any way, except he tried to take you away from the topic. So now you will start thinking what this guy said. Remember, the topic is Islamic monotheism is pure or not.
Number 5 to 6. And then there is monolatry, which is basically the worship of one God alone. An example of a statement to that effect is in the Old Testament, where Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse number 13 in the American Standard Version reads, "Thou shalt fear Jehovah thy God, and him shalt thou serve." And Jesus picks up upon that saying in Matthew chapter 4, verse number 10, where he says, "Worship the Lord your God and serve him only." So obviously, monotheism includes some aspect of henotheism and monolatry. But monotheism goes beyond these concepts by insisting that there is, in fact, only one God.
I mean, Jesus, he just only, and that's it. Only Islam is the one insists only there is one God. And in a second, we will see that the God of Islam is a fiction. And count my words, take your notes. Shabir Ali is going to start spanking. He will spank what? He will spank Islam. Watch carefully.
How does that insistence on the belief on only one God occur in Islam? I would say in two ways. One is in the Quran, and two is in Muslim practice. So let's start with the Quran.
Hold on. Monotheism in Islam exists in two? In Quran and Muslim practice? I mean, that's really funny. You see, I understand the Quran supposedly is the book coming from your God, but Muslim practice, I think he wanted to say following the hadith of Muhammad. Muslim practice. Okay. Well, we will examine the Muslim practice, including yours. You just say that it's pray for all mankind or all people around the globe who they are sick, which is not Islamic practice. You broke your own practice, just to be hypocrite.
The first thing I want to observe is that the Quran refers to God by a specific name, and that avoids confusion between God and not God. Because sometimes when people say the Lord, we cannot be sure who exactly they mean, because it seems to be a generic title, which could mean God, or it could mean a human being, but it's a title of respect, and so on. So by using the term Allah, it is clear to Muslims that we are referring to the God that is spoken about.
The term? I mean, this guy, he just said it's a name. And now he is using the word term. Is it a term or it's a name? What term mean? Secondly, if we ask Shabir Ali, and I ask any Muslim, what the word Allah mean, they do not know. I mean, if you refer to him by a name, do you know even what the name is? Is that an Arabic word? It's not. This is why none of you knows what it means. So they start giving you definition. Allah mean the Almighty. Where you get this from? You believe He's the Almighty, but Allah is the name. What the name mean? They don't know. Because Islam is a storing cult from other belief, from other countries, other languages. This is why the most confusing part of Islam is the one is stolen from others. Like if you read in the Quran mentioned the word Israel. You ask any Muslim what Israel mean, they don't know. They make fun of the story of Israel, Jacob wrestling in the Bible, but they have the name of Israel in the Quran, which means they agree with the story. And that he was making fun. Your God wrestling with Jacob. But okay, what is the name of Jacob? Suddenly became Israel. How became Israel? They do not know. What Israel mean? They have no idea. For Islam is a cult. Steal names, steal stories, put it there. What Maryam mean? They don't know. Musa's mean? They don't know. Okay, who's Isa? What Isa mean? They don't know. Where the name Isa is coming from? They don't know. What Harun mean? They don't know. They don't know. What Ibrahim mean? They have no idea. And now this guy who have no idea is telling us that Allah, the Muslims, they gave Allah a name. Did he say that, or I'm mistaken? Let me play it again a little bit, because that is funny.
Is in the Quran, and 2 is in Muslim practice. So let's start with the Quran. The first thing I want to observe is that the Quran refers to God by a specific name, and that avoids confusion between God and not God. Because sometimes when people say the Lord, we cannot be sure who exactly they mean, because it seems to be a generic title, which could mean God, or it could mean a human being, but it's a title of respect, and so on. So by using the term Allah, it is clear to Muslims that we are referring to the God that is spoken about in the Quran as the only God. So I must explain this term Allah, because for some people it may be a new term. So etymologically speaking, this is what Encyclopedia Britannica explains.
What? A sheikh, he is reading for us what is written in a website. And this is how he defined his God. From a website run by the kuffar, supposedly. Okay, what they tell you in that website? Tell us.
Etymologically, Allah is probably a contraction of the Arabic al-ilah, which means the God.
What? Guys, have you ever heard of stupidity more than this? He just said, Allah is not a unique name of God. Al-ilah, which means the God. Il, well, how many times we taught you the word il? Il is a word mentioned in the Bible, in the New Testament and the Old Testament, like Emmanuel at the end. Sometimes it's added in the beginning of the word, sometimes it's added at the end. But this is a word is il, have nothing to do with name. It's not a name. So when the Aramaic Christians, they say ilah, this is not Allah. Ilah, and he just mentioned that al-ilah, what is today in Arabic, you know, so ilah, the h at the end is just like you know, to make it sound better. Let us say it's a sound. It's not really even part of the word. So he just said a second ago that Allah recognized himself in the Quran by this name, and now he's saying properly, maybe it's coming from word al-ilah, which mean the God. So it is not a name. I mean, do this guy even know what he's talking about? If you are a Muslim and you are listening, please leave your comment about what he said in this case. Let us play it again.
Seems to be a generic title, which could mean God, or it could mean a human being, but it's a title of respect, and so on. So by using the term Allah, it is clear to Muslims that we are referring to the God that is spoken about in the Quran as the only God. So I must explain this term Allah, because for some people it may be a new term. So etymologically speaking, this is what Encyclopedia Britannica explains. Etymologically, Allah is probably a contraction of the Arabic al-ilah, which means the God. The origin of the name can be traced to the earliest Semitic writings in which the word for God was il or el.
Guys, did you hear it? Did you hear it? So this is before. This is okay. This Semitic writing is for who? Is it for people who worship the true God, or it's just a generic word for God, which means pagan? They use it. Anyone? What do you mean? Let us hear more.
Latter being an Old Testament synonym for Yahweh. Allah is the standard Arabic word for God used by Arab Christians as well as by Muslims.
Well, this is true. The Arab Christians, who they are not Arab, using the word Allah now, but they never used it before, because they are under the Islamic occupation for 1400 years. So imagine they are using the word Allah and still they are killing them. So what if they use different word? For me, I believe Allah is a false God. And the easiest way to find out if Allah have to do with us anything, can we find it in the original books? We cannot. So you can find the word Allah in Arabic translation for the Bible, which is a false translation, absolutely false. And there's many Arab Christians today, because they grow in the Middle East, you know, from a family, you know, this is same word. So they are like hooked up to that word, and they are in denial. They don't want to say, you know what, I'm being pagan. I'm saying the name of the false God, the God of Muhammad. And, you know, for me, God is not about a name. It's not about a name, because, you know, I mean, there's no name can describe God. But as long as the Muslim, they say this is a name for our God. Obviously, we as a Christian, we cannot use that word. And if you use it, you are a fool, even if you are a bishop. Actually, you are a donkey, even if you are a bishop.
In addition to naming Allah as God, the Quran insists that Allah is the only God. There is no God but Allah. The declaration in Arabic, La ilaha illallah, is known to Muslims as the kalima of Islam.
Kalima of Islam.
That's the most basic creed.
The kalima of Islam, I never heard. What is that? The kalima of Islam? What? The kalima of Islam. As I know, this is the shahada. Since when did the kalima of Islam? Okay.
Creedal statement of a Muslim. There is no God but Allah.
Why you stop? You see here, you see the hypocrisy of the Muslims. He said that he's talking about monotheism. And how he proved monotheism? He says, we Muslims, we say there's no God but Allah. But why you don't continue and say the rest? Where you associate the name of your God with the name of your prophet. Actually, the Muslims, they associate the name of their God with the name of their prophet, the knowledge of God, the knowledge of their prophet, the ability of God, the ability of the prophet, the wisdom of God, and the wisdom of the prophet. Even the sexuality of Muhammad is associated, or let us say, it is connected to God. Because he's a prophet, Allah, he gave him the power of 40 men, and boom, boom. But here, let us see, if we go in the hadith, we will find the following. I'm not going to use Arabic, just type this as an example. Actually, let's use this. I will give you an example while I'm typing in English. When a Muslim, he speaks to Muhammad, and Muhammad, he questions something, trying to examine the knowledge of Muslims, how much they learn from him. So when Muhammad, he say, do you know, hey, there is a guy with him, the father of the ants. They call him Abu Dhar, which means the father of the ants. Do you know where the sun set? Who is talking? Muhammad. What is the answer is? I replied, Allah and his apostle knows best. Do you see how, the word mushrik is to associate a name of a human being or other person or even an idol with the name of a god which you worship, and that will take you away from monotheism. But you will notice here that the Muslims, they associate the knowledge of God and the knowledge of a man, and both of them, they know best. And you will not see here Muhammad say, oh, don't say that, don't say Allah and his apostle, no, say only Allah knows best. No, he did not. Actually, he is saying the question so he can hear such a reply that Allah knows best and Muhammad. So how you are a people who worship one God, but you associate in knowledge of a man with the knowledge of God, and you made them equal in knowing best. Like, you see, the sentence is so clear. He didn't say, Allah knows best and he is a prophet who learned from Allah. No. Allah and his apostle know best. Same for the Shahada. In the Shahada, they say there's no God but Allah and Muhammad is his messenger. But you associate the name of God with the name of a man. Because why Muhammad? There is supposedly, according to Islam, 124,000 messenger. Why you don't say there's no God but Allah and Isa is his messenger? No, they don't say that. Abraham, his messenger. No. The only name they associate with their God is Muhammad. And if you read this hadith here, you will see that Muhammad, he says something funny and stupid, claiming that the sun goes every day and prostrate under the throne of Allah. And this is how he explained the sunset, which is a stupid explanation, proving to us again that he is a false prophet and his God knowledge is not best, neither his knowledge is best at all. But this is just to show you an example. Now we go to the video of Shabir Ali.
This statement is repeated in the Quran many, many times in different ways. I've counted some 36 times just by a simple search through a software that gives us all of the references of a word or phrase in the Quran. So this is something that occurs again and again. Let me say that by contrast, we will notice that in the Bible, the statement that there is only one God does occur, but not as frequently as it occurs in the Quran. Even
see, it's we have competition here. This is very funny. You just said it's 36 times. You just say this 36 times. The mention of one God in the Bible is almost in every chapter. And the Quran, all of it, is not even in the size of the index of the Holy Bible. When a Muslim, they say to you, why don't memorize? How come we can memorize? Your Quran is not even in the size of little tiny book of the Bible. The index is bigger than your book. So here you see how they, try to make you believe, Islam believe in what? In one God. About how many times the Quran says that? Who care? Who care how many times the Quran says that there's only one God, but yet you do not know who is this God. In the same time, listen to what he will say next, and you will die laughing at the stupidity of this cult. Because now what you will say to us is going to introduce to us this one God who his name mentioned as one God at 36 times, as he said. Let's see.
Even though the Quran is a very much shorter book, some say it is about 4/5 the size of the New Testament.
Yeah, right.
So for the Quran to have this many repeated statements that there is only this one God shows the Quran's emphasis on monotheism. The Quran does more than this. It says that we are not to worship anyone other than Allah. And here too, we will have many statements. La ta'budu illallah. Do not worship anyone other than Allah. The Quran also says that we are not to pray to anyone other than Allah.
But here, I have a question. You see, don't worship other than Allah. And who is the one is saying that? Allah. Okay. Why Allah, speaking about Allah, why don't say don't worship other than me? Any Muslim can answer? I mean, he is the one who's talking, and then he is saying to you, supposedly, as he is the one who's talking, don't worship other than Allah. Why he is saying Allah? Why you don't say me? You see, if I say don't go and learn about Islam from other than Christian prince, that's mean I am not a Christian prince. And this is not happening only once, it's happening all over. And he just mentioned that.
Use this as a separate category because worship and prayer might be slightly different. Prayer may include just simply an appeal, like an appeal to a saint or to a past prophet or some angel or lesser being than God. So the Quran here too interdicts and says, "La tad'u ma'allahi ahada." Do not call anyone else along with God.
Are you sure? See, one of the funny things about Muhammadan, they say things, and those things will criminalize. I'm saying criminalize like in the way will prove you wrong. You know, Muhammad is a fraud. Don't worship anyone other than Allah or beside Allah. Let us take a note of that. So the Quran is clear about this. But look what he will say after.
The Quran also insists that we're not to make sacrifices to other than Allah. I came to appreciate this point more recently when I read the book by James McGrath. Professor McGrath, in his book, The Only True God, pointed out that in the book of Revelation, it looks like the one thing that will distinguish between God and non-God is the question of whether or not sacrifices can be offered to that one. And from the book of Revelation's point of view, sacrifice can be offered only to the one God. And I came to appreciate then why the Quran says that we are not to eat the meat that is sacrificed to other than God, and why we are not allowed to make our sacrifices to other than God. So in the story of Abraham, we find in the Quran in Surah 6, there is a mention of him turning his face towards God in sincere devotion towards God. And Muslims are then told in that context to say, "Qul inna salati wa nusuki wa mahyaya wa mamati lillahi rabbil alamin." Say, my prayer, my sacrifice, my living and dying is for Allah, the Lord of the worlds.
That is a false translation, and it's absolutely a fraud. If you go to the Quran, you will see they added the word sacrifice in the translation. But there's nowhere in the Quran it says, my sacrifice. That's a false statement. If you go to the interpretation, as an example, this is Al-Jalalain. My ritual doesn't say anything about sacrifice. So, you know, they add words in the translation to make it fit. You know, they fit it there somehow. My rituals have nothing to do with the word sacrifice. It can be included to say, okay, in my ritual I do sacrifice, but why you add it there, you know, when it is not there? However, he just quoted that Abraham, he said, that my prayer and my ritual and my devotion is to Allah. Okay, where is the ritual of Abraham? Can you show us the ritual of Abraham? Was the sacrifice of Abraham a ritual in Islam? Did even Abraham sacrifice anything? Because as we know the story, Abraham, he did not sacrifice. I mean, he tried. The one who sacrificed in the story is Allah. Here you notice the low IQ of those who try to explain to you a religion supposedly they belong to, And those even who read the story and don't notice what's happening here. In the story of Abraham, the one who sacrificed, it was not Abraham. This is what the Quran is saying. The one who sacrificed is Allah. So what is the ritual and the sacrifice of Abraham? Somebody tell me. If we go to the Quran, and we find the verse, the search engine sometime. Just this is the fastest way to do it. In chapter 37, verse number 107, who is the one who did sacrifice? It's not Abraham. Abraham, he sacrificed nothing. So how in the world you insert the story of Abraham to make it about sacrifice, because he didn't sacrifice? This is the story in the Quran that when Abraham, he saw a vision, and in the vision he been asked to sacrifice his son, as you see. And then it says here that this was like a trial to Abraham. And then Allah, he ransomed the son of Abraham by a sacrifice. And here you ask yourself, did the Muslims copy the Jews, or the Jews are copying the Muslims? Because obviously here the story, when they say we are sacrificing for the sake of remembering what Abraham he did, well, Abraham he did not sacrifice anything. The one who sacrificed, actually the translation is false here. In Arabic it says فَفَدَيْنَاهُ بِذَبْحٍ عَظِيمٍ. We ransom him with a great, amazing sacrifice. Okay, why Allah want to give a sacrifice? You see, this Islamic monotheism is stupid to death. The Muslim, they say to the Christians, why Allah need to sacrifice his son in order to save you? Isn't it this is silly to say that? That's what they say to you. Okay. And now they will say to you, will God sacrifice God, or God sacrificing to God? So the God of the Christian is sacrificing to who? The answer in the Bible is very simple. Jesus, he said, nobody take myself from me. I lay down myself. So this is not somebody pushing somebody to sacrifice. The Messiah, because he loved us, he gave his life, which is mean a lot to us, but for him it mean not much really, except showing us how much he loved, because no death can take me. Nobody can take me down. Nobody can really take Jesus down, because what the point of killing a person? He will come back to you to prove to you that he is God. You did nothing. Jesus right now in Islam is alive. But here you notice that the idea of not to sacrifice to other than God, we find that Allah is sacrificing. When Allah, he ransomed, here it says redeemed. I mean, the translation changed from person to person. We redeemed. Other translation we ransom. Other translation we exchange. I mean, it's hilarious how they come with a translation. Okay, Allah redeem who to who? From who? You are redeeming who? We ransomed him with a great sacrifice. And remember, this is to prove to us that Islamic religion is monotheism religion, monotheist. How this happened? Allah is sacrificing to who? If you say to me Allah sacrificing to Allah, well then, what the purpose of the sacrifice? What the accomplishment? And why Allah He sacrificed a ram? And why He called it Azim? This is what the name of Allah? Azim? As you see here in Arabic. وَفَدَيْنَاهُ بِذَبْحٍ عَظِيمٍ. Why it is Azim? And Allah, when He gave the sacrifice, He gave it to who? To Himself? Obviously, the one who copied the story from the Old Testament, he do not know the meaning of the story, and by copying it, he got himself busted. Because the sacrifice here, symbolic, that no sacrifice will be accepted, it is except the one is coming from heaven. This is why, if you read the story, you will see that a ram came down from heaven, and this ram is great, amazing. If we read the interpretation for this verse, so Muslim will not say I'm making things up, you know them. Chapter 37 again, verse 107. I'm not planning to make the video long, but you know what we can do. What we can do, right? So 107, sorry. Verse 107. And here you notice another stupid thing in Islam, because it's a theft. Then we ransomed him, one whom he had been commanded to sacrifice, namely Ishmael or Isaac. They don't even know. This is a story about who. They are so confused. Is it Ishmael? Is it Isaac? Because not all Islamic scholars agree with the propaganda of Muslims saying it's Ishmael. The most famous one, actually, they say it is Isaac. There is two different opinions. Always in Islam, there's two different opinions. Why there's two different opinions? Because they have no knowledge. I mean, why you have no knowledge of the name of the one who been to be sacrificed? Muhammad do not know himself because he's a thief. He have no idea what the story is about. Then Allah, He gave a mighty sacrifice, a mighty ram from paradise. So Allah Himself, He gives sacrifice. And that destroy everything the Muslims they come with, because they can't explain to us why Allah giving sacrifice. He gives sacrifice to who? Is He giving sacrifice to other God? Is He giving sacrifice to Himself? And what about Allah? He said to Abraham, which is a story stolen from the Bible. Why Allah did not say, hey Abraham, don't worry, don't kill your son, just get a sheep? No, He did not do that. He sent His own sacrifice, and the sacrifice is coming from heaven. That's mean the sacrifice, which great sacrifice for God, is His own sacrifice. So the Muslims, by copying the story from the Old Testament, they expose their monotheism. Because why you want to sacrifice? They just say the ritual of Abraham, when the fact this is the ritual of Allah sacrificing to Himself or to other God. Either Allah is one, the same as the God of Abraham in the Bible, and then the sacrifice is happened to him. Or Allah is not one God, and then Allah is sacrificing to other God. So He ransomed the son of Abraham by sacrificing to the one who made the request, say, hey God, please let Abraham's son go. So, you know, this story here raises many questions. And where is this, what the rams, you know, simple, why it's not a cow? Why it's not a goat? Why it's not an elephant? I mean, elephant is way bigger. And the Muslim, they say to us that we Muslims don't believe in a bloodshed as sacrifice. This is the biggest lie they say. that sacrifice in Islam does not involve bloodshed. And actually, the sacrifice in Islam goes back to the time of Abel and Cain, the children of Adam, where two of them, they want to have sex with their sister who have a crossed eyes. The story is funny there, that Adam, each time he gave birth to a twin, and those twin, male and female. And then those twin, Abel and Cain, when one of their sisters she don't look good, according to the Muslim stories, so none of them want to marry her. So they were fighting now over one girl, one sister, to sleep with her. So then Allah, he told them, give a sacrifice, and the one who I accept his sacrifice is the one I approve him, or approve his marriage. So from the time of Adam, Muslims believe in sacrifice. Let us continue. I hope we gave you enough information. I mean, for those who they are trying to study the cult of Muhammad, those information are very important for you. Will take you forever to find them by yourself. So don't forget to download the video, save it in your drive, or even in your YouTube channel if you have one. Let us continue with this poor guy trying to make his God look good, but it's not working.
As for eating the meat of sacrifice of animals sacrificed to other than Allah, the Quran tells us that Muslims are not to do that, and certainly the Satans will try to entice you to eat such meat. But if you do that, then you will be among the polytheists.
Unbelievable. So if you eat a sandwich in Thailand, you became a polytheist. This is religion. If you eat a sandwich in Thailand, that's it. The guy, he pray 5 times a day. He do jihad. He he go after people to because they are opposing Allah. But just because he ate so Osama bin Laden, he ate a sandwich when he was in America, and it was hot dog. He became a polytheist. But there is more than this. This guy, he just said something very important. I will go back a little bit so you can laugh with me more. I don't know how many of you notice.
Entice you to eat such meat, but if you do that, then you will be among the polytheists, or those who ascribe partner along with God. So on the contrary, Muslims are told that when they eat, they should say Bismillah in the name of God and then eat, and that will erase any possibility that we're dealing with meat which has been sacrificed to others.
What? So if you say in the name of Allah, Bismillah, that will erase. So that means you can eat all kind of food. You can eat the Hindu food. I mean, this see the contradiction, the stupidity. Allah, he forbid us to eat the food of the pagans. And then he just said, but if you say Bismillah, that erase. Unbelievable. Tell us more, Shabir Ali.
Because even if it so happens that this meat arrived on the Muslim's dinner table by mistake, by pronouncing the name of God over it, the Muslim will cancel any such evil effects of the food. From
evil effect of the food. And that's mean you can eat pork, just say Bismillah. Just say Bismillah, it's pork. Say Bismillah, that will erase any evil effect of the food. I mean, do you see the stupidity? I mean, is this religion talking to us as a bunch of kids who have no brain? That's mean you can eat anything, just say Bismillah. So why you Muslims are so, like, oh, this is alcohol. Drink alcohol, say Bismillah. Drinking is a food. Any drink you drink is kind of food. Say Bismillah. That will take the evil of the food. Stupidity is amazing. And this is telling us that this religion is very shallow, very stupid. Concentrate on things which is silly, and they leave the important away.
From the Quranic point of view. So with these various components in mind, we can see that the Quran actually insists upon monotheism and insists on it in a wide variety of ways.
Okay, hold on. See, you know, you cannot eat a food sacrificed in the name of other God. So why the Quran says you can eat the food of the Christians? Don't the Christians, they say the name of Jesus on it? This day, all things good and pure made lawful unto you, the food of the people of the book. But isn't it the people of the book are kuffar and they worship other than Allah? This guy, you can go back in the video, he said, we shall not eat a food used or slaughtered in the name of other God. Well, we Christians, we pray in our heart before we eat in the name of Jesus. And many Christians, until now, when they cook, they will not start cooking unless they name the name of the Lord to bless the food. Even when they make a bread. Actually, it is Islamic countries, when they make a bread, they make 3 dots in the 3 corners, copying the Christians to bless the bread. So, you cannot eat a food named or given under the name of other God, which is something talking from the Old Testament. And now you are saying it is okay to eat the food of the kuffar. And it's pure for you. And you can even rape their women and sleep with them. How the Quran says we are kuffar all over. As example, chapter 5, verse number 17. They are kuffar. But what kuffar mean? They are not monotheist. They are making blasphemy against God. Who? The one who say that Jesus, the Christ, is Allah. And that's mean all the food of the Christians is a slaughter or given by the name of their God, which is a Christ. So he is trying to prove to us that monotheism in Islam will forbid you. Because Islam is monotheist, you cannot eat a food given to you by the name of other God, and yet you can eat their food. Without saying in the name of Allah. As you see here, this is a license for the Muslims to eat the food of the Christians. Without saying anything. That's it. It's lawful for you. But in the same time, the Christians, according to Islam, they are not good people. They are bad. They are kuffar. They are filthy. They are disgusting. They should die. And this is all over the Quran. Clear declaration in the Quran that the Christians are kuffar. They are infidels. But you want to eat their food. And you can sleep with their women just to spread the numbers of, increase the number of Islam. See how many chapters? Chapter 5, verse 73. There's many chapters. So here you notice that this religion is like a, somebody, he's a thief. He went to the market. So he cannot choose really the product he will pick up from the shelf. But he will choose any product when there's nobody is watching. So he walk by, he act like he is busy doing shopping, and as long as there's people around him, he keep walking, because now he cannot pick it up from the shelf because people are watching.
What is the unforgivable?
And then he pick up what he think nobody see and put it inside his hiding cloth. Now, what is unforgivable in Islam? Listen to this. This is more hilarious.
Even if it so happens that this meat arrived on the Muslim's dinner table by mistake, by pronouncing the name of God over it, the Muslim will cancel any such evil effects of the food from the Quranic point of view.
That's it. Yeah. Actually, you remind me of the food thing, just to show you that Muhammad is a very weird person and he is not mentally healthy. Why or how we should eat in Islam? We have to eat in the right hand. Okay, why we have to eat in the right hand? See, he was mentioning to you that if you say the name of Allah on the food, that will take the evil away. No, that's a false statement. Muhammad is a satanic possessed person who make up stories, fabricated stories to scare his followers from thinking about him. So we're gonna keep them busy, scared, terrified. You know, like when somebody make you paranoid about things, so you will not think about the real thing happening around you. When any of you intends to eat a meal, he should eat with his right hand, and when he intends to drink, he should drink with his right hand, for Shaitan eats with his left hands and drink with his left hands. I mean, have you ever heard of an intelligent person say such a thing? Let us say, for the sake of argument, Shaitan or Satan, he used his left hand. And by the way, Satan have left hand and right hand, and okay, no problem. And do you know what Shaitan he eat? You can find that in the Quran. You will die laughing. So don't eat with the left hand. Why? Because Shaitan, brother, he eat with the left hand. Okay, so if I eat with the left hand, I became Shaitan. Have you ever heard of a stupid teaching more than this? So God, he gave me two hands for what reason? He should give me one hand, and then I will eat and do everything with it. Just to show you, you know, a little bit of the stupidity of those stories about eating with one hand and etc. You know, and what is right, what's wrong. Muhammad have tons of stories, like entering the bathroom, you have to enter with the left foot. You have to say a certain prayer, otherwise Shaitan, he will play with your anus. If before you have sex, you have to say a certain prayer, otherwise Shaitan, he will round himself around the man's private part, and he will be having sex with the wife during the time he's having sex with his wife, and then the child will be the son of the devil, which means Muhammad himself is the son of the devil, because Muhammad himself, his father, did not recite any prayer before he have intercourse with the mother of Muhammad, regardless who is the father of Muhammad. Doesn't matter, as long as he is not a Muslim. He did not recite that prayer, he have no idea what it is, and he did not say it when he have intercourse with Muhammad's mother. This is how foolish this man. He just convinced us that he himself is a son of the devil, because if he don't say that prayer, Shaitan, he round himself around the penis, and he will be having sex with the woman, and then the child will be the son of the devil. This is why in the Quran it says that Shaitan, he have a children. And the Muslims, they struggle a lot to find out how in the word Shaitan he have, you know, children. I mean, how Shaitan will have children? You know, no, I mean, did Allah created a female Shaitan and a male Shaitan, and then he sent them out from heaven the same as he did to Adam and Eve together? According to Islam, no. You know, if you go in the Quran, chapter 18, verse number 50, it says, are you going to follow Shaitan and his children and his offspring? You go to Islamic interpretation, you will see a lot of fiction stories that Allah, he gave Shaitan, the first Shaitan, Iblis, he gave him a penis in the right side of his thigh, and he gave him a vagina in the left side of his thigh. So when he want to have sex, he shaked it and he enter this into that, and he do nikah. And then he lay eggs, and from every egg, 70 Satan, male Satan and female Satan come out. So the first shaitan was a mixed gender. Other interpretation is, as Muhammad he said, that when you pray, shaitan, when you have sex, shaitan, he will round himself around your private part, and he will be doing your wife, and then the sons you will have, they will be the sons of Satan. And this is how Islam explains homosexuality. They say those who did not make this prayer, their son is going to be homosexual, which is very stupid to say. We go back to the, I was not planning really to make it long. Maybe I should make it 2 videos and stop here. I'm not sure how long it's already. Let us continue a little bit more.
So with these various components in mind, we can see that the Quran actually insists upon monotheism and insists on it in a wide variety of ways. Now, what is the unforgivable sin according to the Islamic faith? The unforgivable sin is to ascribe anyone as partner along with God, to think that God has an equal, and Muslims would say also if God has a son, this are such a close relationship that will compromise the absolute divinity and uniqueness of God, then this will count as shirk or polytheism. Shirk in Arabic looks like the English word shirk, which means like the shirk one's responsibilities, to avoid one's responsibilities. So the word shirk, written the same way but pronounced shirk in Arabic, means something like partner or associating a partner along with God. This is how it's understood in Islamic theology. And Muslims are definitely not allowed to do that. Again, we will find a plethora of statements in the Quran. La tushriku ma'allahi ahada. Do not associate anyone along with God. So we are not to think of God as having a partner, a wife, a son, a daughter, or any such relationships. It is thought that such relationships are beyond God. He is so different from everything else that we know. For example, in Surah 42, verse number 11, it says, "Laysa kamithlihi shay' wa huwa as-sami'ul basir." There is nothing like unto him.
ليس لمثله شيء وهو السميع البصير. Let us examine this verse. And I will make you die laughing. So Allah, nothing like him, and he is the one who can hear, he is the one who can see. As if there is only one person in this world who can hear and he can see. Secondly, do Allah know really? Do Allah really can see? Do Allah really can hear? So if we go in the hadith, we will find that it's not true. Allah is not all hearing. He is not all seeing. This is why Muhammad, he said that Allah, he come down every third part of the night so he can hear the one who is supplicating to him and receive their prayer. And this is very authentic. And here you notice that Islam again failed to speak about one God of one universe under the control of this God. This God, he cannot hear you unless he come down. When? Every night down to the nearest heaven. When it is when? The last third part of the night. And what he would say? If there is anyone invoking me, so that I may respond. So how Allah is all hearing and all seeing, but he cannot hear me unless he got closer to the nearest heaven and get better reception. That is a question nobody can answer from the Muslims because this is stupid. I mean, are you saying to me that Allah, in the top of his throne, he cannot hear us? So Allah, he have to come down every night, down of his throne, going through heaven number 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then he stopped there. And then he says, who is praying to me? Here you see that Allah is not almighty. Secondly, Allah go inside his creation, because isn't it the heaven is his creation? Go read carefully. Allah descend. What he's doing? He descend. He come every night. When we accept that this God, you see the Muslims, they say, well, Jesus cannot be God because the flesh is created. So how can God become, how God can be inside the flesh which is created? Well, isn't it the heaven is a kind of a flesh is created? Contain material? Even if the massive majority of it is a vacuum space. But there's many things. There's rocks, there's planets, there's stars, there is. So he's inside what he created. Here you see the disability, and here you see that Allah is not all hearing, all seeing. And if Muslims they want to say this is metaphorical, that's stupid. Metaphorical. Because it's not true. If Muhammad want to say something metaphorical, he can say, well, you pray to Allah, Allah hear you, and that's it. Doesn't matter. And why it's the third part of the night? Because this is the time he descend. He have to move from point A to point B in order to be able to receive your prayer. He come down, he descend every night. Jesus in the same time, he said, every two of you mention my name, I will be between them. Which means he will be the third listening. You do not need to come down. It doesn't matter what time of the day. And then they say to you, where Jesus says, I'm God, worship me. Well, can Jesus as a prophet be with us now? We are talking about his name. Unless he is God. Allah cannot be with us. And the proof in front of you. He have certain time to come, certain time to go. And Allah, in this case, he became like a yo-yo. He is up, down. I feel sorry for him. Same time, here's the Muhammad, he's showing us that Islam is a religion believe in the flat earth, sorry. Think there's only one time in the day and Allah come down. But based on this hadith, Allah, he keep coming up and down because there's a lot of time in the earth where it's going to be the third part of the night. Let's go back to the poor Shabir Ali.
And he is hearing and seeing. So in all of these ways, the emphasis is shown to be on monotheism. Now, what about intercession? Can somebody intercede on our behalf? For we know that intercession is a factor in Christianity. It is thought that Jesus is an advocate for us in heaven, as is found in the Johannine correspondence. But from the Quranic point of view, nobody can intercede along with God except by the permission of God. So if God permits somebody to intercede for someone else, that's to honor the intercessor. It's not that the intercessor has some kind of claim on God to make it necessary for God to bend and to give in to the intercessor.
Guys, listen to this. There's nobody can be interceding to you unless he is giving permission. To honor who? The intercessor. But he just said that intercession is only given to Allah, and that will prove monotheism. So why Allah is sharing his own privilege with someone to honor him? Is he sharing his monotheism with someone? Here you see the stupidity of this cult. First of all, as long as you mention the intercession, if we go in the Quran, we would die laughing. We will see what the Quran says about intercession. Let us see. The Quran, as usual, is the book of contradiction. Chapter 2, verse number 48. It says clearly that Allah, by the way, I forgot the point he mentioned. I will go back to it. Then we have no chat to remind me. About Allah will not forgive sin if you do shirk. Just take that note, because this is stupid. This is the most stupid statement he just said. Read carefully. That Allah, no intercession will be accepted in the day of judgment. No one. Chapter 2, verse number 48. Okay. Different verse. Chapter 2, verse 123. No intercession. Then guard yourself against the day when one soul shall not avail another, nor shall, etc. And no intercession will be accepted. And by the way, here Muhammad, he got Allah busted, because he said in the judgment day, Allah will take all the sin of Muslims and he will place it. It's going to be like mountain. The sin of the Muslims will be like mountains, and Allah will place it on the Jews and the Christians. But here the verse is saying that no soul shall pay for the sin of other person. And here Muhammad again is contradicting himself with his stupid agenda, just trying to make the Muslims feel better. Let us find the hadith. Let us see, hold on. I'm trying to find the hadith for you in English. And then you see right away that Muhammad not only cannot be a prophet, Muhammad is a fraud with certified stupidity. Because you should not say, I mean, at least remember what you said yesterday. You don't say the opposite. This is Muhammad saying, and this is Sahih hadith, that, read carefully with me, that would come people among the Muslims on the day of resurrection. So remember this day of resurrection, the same as the verse in the Quran, with as heavy sins as mountain, and Allah would forgive them, and he would place in there instead the Jews and the Christians. So how no soul will pay for the sin of other soul, and then Allah will place all the sin of the Muslims, which is not fair. I mean, have you ever heard of a justice like this? So you commit sin, I pay for it. The Muslim, they say to you, Jesus did not commit sin, why he will pay for your sin? Jesus did not, you know, when we say Jesus pay for our sin, nobody forcing him voluntarily, he is saving us. The word saving, paying for our sin doesn't mean that our sin is not there. Doesn't mean that we did not commit crimes. Doesn't mean that our sin is gone. No, we're still sinner. Jesus, he is giving us opportunity to be saved. This is what it's mean, paid for our sin. Here is different. Here, you commit sin, I go to jail. I go to hell. You kill, I will be punished for killing. You rape, I will be punished for raping. And here, this is showing you how much hate Muhammad he have to the Christians and the Jews. He did not say Hindus, he did not say it was, maybe he never heard of them, he's an idiot. So, where is the Quran from what Muhammad is saying? If Muhammad is the same man who wrote the Quran, or the Quran given to him from God, then he should not say things obviously is a total contradiction for what the Quran is saying. One of them is lying to us, or maybe both. Or you know what? Both of them are one. The one who read the Quran, who made it up, and the one who made the hadith. But because the one who made them both is a fool, he always say the opposite. This is why, you know, you notice the story of Muhammad when he abrogated the Quran. So he changed the Quran based on his stupidity and his mistakes. So he tried to fix it. So he come with a verse in the Quran saying, chapter 2, verse 106, any of our revelation we abrogate or cause to be forgotten, we will make something better or similar. And here you see how stupid it is. I mean, so Allah make you forget the Quran, and then he will make something better. Allah will make Quran better than the Quran of Allah? How that could be? There is two Allah. One Allah, his Arabic is not good. The other Allah, his Arabic is better. Because here the quality cannot be better. You see, this is God. This is God. Quality of God does not change. And here we are not talking about his look or the quality. The quality. Can the quality of the word of God be less than the quality of the word of God? This is what the verse is saying. And then he says similar. So why you want me to forget it if he's going to give me something similar? Who is stupid here? But if you go and try to find out what happened, you will find that Muhammad, because he's a liar, he could not remember what he said yesterday. This is in chapter 2, verse 106. You can go to the interpretation and you will find the answer. Muhammad became the joke of the Arab. Why? Because this guy, he says something in the morning and he says something else afternoon. He said the opposite. When the disbelievers, not the believers, start making fun of Muhammad in the matter of abrogation, saying that one day Muhammad, he enjoined his companion one thing, and then the next day he forbid it. You tell me, have you ever heard of a God? He make a law. Second day in the morning, he come with the law, forbid the first law. Either you are crazy, mentally ill, or you are trying things to see which one work for you. So people complain about it, you change it. Or you don't like it, okay, let's hold on, we will change it for you. This is how the Arab in the time of Muhammad, they view Muhammad. There's a movie, it's called The Legend of Muhammad, which is full of fabrication, saying the Arab, they were amazed about the Quran. They were astonished by the Quran, how wonderful it is. The language cannot be from other than God. This is the Arab. And this is written in their books. And this is the official government website of the kingdom of the king of Jordan, who claim he is from the descendant of Muhammad. What those people are talking about? Actually, you will see even Muhammad, he changed things because just somebody, he is a Jew or a Christian, he say don't do that. As an example, a Jew one day, he came to Muhammad and he said to him, read carefully people, this is the topic is monotheism. This is the topic is monotheism. And this is a Jewish man getting Muhammad busted in his time. And this is all is sahih. We are not quoting something is not very authentic. As you see. So the Jewish man, he came to Muhammad and he said to him, hey Muhammad, you are a mushrik. What? You are a mushrik. Why? Why I'm a mushrik? Look what the Jew, he said to him. Oh, let us show you the story from the beginning. Hold on. Here it doesn't show the story. You see here, they don't show the story that a Jew, he came to Muhammad and he say the stories, etc., etc. And then Muhammad, after the Jew, he get him busted, Muhammad, he said to them, okay, change the way you talk, okay? Don't say that. Read carefully. And this is Sahih. It was narrated from Abdullah, etc., Ibn Yasir, blah, 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 that a Jew came to the Prophet and said, You are setting up rivals. I'm not sure if I'm saying the word correctly in English. You know, my English is not good, as you know, so you can laugh, it's okay. Rivals to Allah and associating others with him. Who is saying that? A Jew. To who? To the prophet of monotheism. When? In his face. Not in YouTube. You say whatever Allah wills, and you will. And you say by the Kaaba. So what the problem? You say whatever Allah wills, and you will. So you associate the will of a man with the will of Allah, and you swear by a building, stones. Look what Muhammad, he said. He did not say to him, you are wrong. He did not say to him, I don't agree, this should not happen. He did not say to him, I did not say that. So Muhammad said, from now on, so the Prophet said, commanded them, if they wanted to swear an oath, to say by the Lord of the Kaaba, not by the Kaaba, and to say whatever Allah wills, then what you will. So Muhammad, he agreed with the Jew that I am not practicing monotheism, and thank you, Jew, obviously you are sent by Allah, and maybe you are Jibreel to correct me. If Muhammad is a prophet of monotheism, he will never do such a mistake agreeing with the Jew that the Jew is right and Muhammad is a fraud. He did not teach monotheism. Did you ask yourself, how in the world a Jew, he's not even a rabbi, a Jew, a normal Jew, correcting Muhammad about what to do, what not to do, what to say, what not to say, and Muhammad, he changed his religion to fit with the Jew. And then when people, they start noticing that Muhammad is nothing but a copy-paste of the Jews, trying to copy them because he believes whatever they say is true, Muhammad, he try always to change what he do from what the Jews do. And how we can show that? Look at this is stupid story. And I call it stupid because it's stupid. I mean, I don't know how stupid it can be more than this. The messenger SAW shortwave radio said, narrated the messenger of Allah used to stand up for a funeral until the corpse was placed in the grave. A learned Jew once passed by him. Notice with me, a learned Jew, not ignorant, a learned. That means he's a rabbi. When they say a learned, they are translating in Arabic, it says Hibrun or Hibrun min al-Yahud, which means a scholar, a rabbi. So a learned Jew once passed by him and said, this is how we do it. What he said? The Jew, he did not debate him about anything. He did not say to him, this is wrong. Actually, he agreed with him. He said, this is how we do it. Do what? The prayer for the funeral. What Muhammad, he did immediately. He said, sit down, act differently. Like what the heck? How a religion, ritual change in a second. Just because a Jew, he said, this is how we do it. Obviously, Muhammad is a fraud. Because, so what if this is how they do it? Why Muhammad? What Muhammad is afraid of? He's afraid because always they accuse him that he is a thief. He's trying to copy the Jews, trying to copy the Christians. So he said to them, act differently. This is why Muhammad, he said, when they were discussing about which day we should make it as a day for a prayer. Friday, Sunday, Saturday, he said we have to act differently. Oh, we cannot take the Sabbath because for the Jews. We cannot take Sunday for it is for the Christians. And then one of the companions says, let us do Friday then. It's not from Allah, it's from Muhammad and his companions. Even the same as the adhan. Allahu Akbar. They said, let us call people by ringing the bell. They said, no, 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 this is for the Christians. Let us make a fire. They said, no, this is for the Jews. And then they said, what about we call for a prayer? And then they approve it. This is not from Allah. The adhan is not from Allah. Even Muhammad, he forbid them from coloring their hair with the black. Why? Because the Jews did do that. He wanted his people to act differently so he will not be accused that he is a fraud. He is copying the Jews. I think we will stop with this. I'm losing my voice. I drank too much coffee today. I apologize for the chat. You know, YouTube is chasing us. And this is the only way. You can leave your comment. All right. And we will be sure that there's no comment is violating their guideline, which is very weird guideline. I mean, Muslim, they can say whatever they want and it's okay. They never take a video for them. But the guideline for us is very strict. And you know, oh, I forgot. I said, remind me, guys. Remind me about what? Allah forgive not the one who associate with him. I will finish with this. Shabir, he said, Allah forgive not those who associate with Allah. And he mentioned the Quran said, make it clear that Allah will forgive not those who associate with him. And this is mentioned many times in the Quran, by the way, not only in one verse. As an example, chapter 4, verse number 48. Chapter 4, verse 116. Allah will not forgive. Will not forgive what? Oh, the browser froze. In the last moment. Let us do it again. Hold on. Give me a second. I'm glad that we did not lose internet. It's working fine. When Shabir Ali, he said that Allah forgive not, forgive all kind of sin except not to be monotheist. Anyone thought about it for a second? How Allah forgive not if you were a person who associate with Allah someone else? Then how you convert to Islam? If a Muslim, he will say to you, no, 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 no. If you repent, Allah forgive you. Read carefully. Let us put the verse again. We open the browser again. It's working now. All right. Chapter 4, verse 48. And Shabir Ali, he mentioned it. Allah will forgive not anyone who associate with him, and he forgive anything less than that. Let us examine this stupid, hilarious verse. Muslims, to get away from this, they would say, oh, if you die, brother, and you did not repent to Allah, Allah will not forgive your sin. My friend, sin is forgiven only for Muslims. We just showed you the hadith where Allah, he will put the sin of the Muslims on the Christians. There's no forgiveness to anyone for anything, even for any kind of sin. Only Muslim, their sin is forgiven. So when you say Allah will not forgive the one who take partner, you are saying Allah will not forgive anyone. The same as in the Bible says, the one who insult the Holy Spirit, he will not be forgiven. This is a sin, will not be forgiven. Which means even if you became a Christian, you will be punished for that. So the Quran is saying, Allah forgive not the one who take partner. Forgiveness only happened to Muslims. So You became a Muslim, and Allah will not forgive you for taking partners. So why you are lying to us saying convert to Islam, Allah forgive your sin? And if you say this goes only for those who take partners and die taking partners, well, where it says here, the one who he forgive those who repent before they die. It says will not forgive. Allah forgive not. In order to be forgiven, you have to ask, you have to repent, you have to do it when you're alive. After you die, there's no that's it, it's over. Your let us say your time is up. Your chance to be forgiven is up. So Allah forgive not taking partners. That means nobody can convert to Islam. Same time, why you Muslim take partners with Allah, like Muhammad, as we showed you from the beginning. Shahada, knowledge, present. Actually, the Muslims, they make Allah a joke, and they claim that Allah created the whole universe just to serve Muhammad. Let me find the hadith, so you will see what we are talking about. Let us see. You see, always it's easy to find it in Arabic, but the part is to find it in English. All right, we found it. Let us put it for you on the screen. We have only 1,200 people watching. I put some food for the birds. It's very cold outside, so they can eat. The hadith, a question. What do the respect of ulama means the scholars of the religion and Sharia about the hadith? Which one? لولاك if not you, there is nothing is created. Everything is created because of you. Who? Muhammad. Read carefully. So he's saying, what do you think about this hadith? Which book we can find it? Who narrated, etc. And then he says, the answer. Indeed, the Prophet of Allah is the reason for the creation of Adam. Allah, alayhi salam, which means peace upon him, and the universe. If the Prophet of Allah pray on him, and here remember, Shabir, he said, don't pray to other than Allah. Allah himself prayed to Muhammad. Allah himself, he prayed to Muhammad. They say that he sent in the blessing, which is stupid. It doesn't say that in Arabic. It says yusalli. So if not Muhammad, if the Prophet of Allah was not exist, the stones, then the arsh mean the throne of Allah, the kursi, the chair of Allah, the lawh, which mean the tablet of Allah, al-qalam, which mean the pen, and those are, by the way, those are not Arabic words, and the Quran says the Quran is a pure Arabic. The skies, the earth, the heaven, the hell, the trees, and the stones, and all other creatures would not exist. You Muslim, you claim that you are monotheist. And you claim that all things created to worship Allah. But as we see here, all things are created for the sake of Muhammad. So who's Allah? Indeed. Look, he did not say, no, brother, this is too much, this is not right, so to say that. He says, indeed. The Prophet of Allah is the reason, he is the only reason for the creation of the whole, which means Allah is, the reason of Allah to exist is to do what? If the reason of all the creation, including us, including stones, including insects, animals, trees, the reason for all this creation is Muhammad. So what is the reason for Allah to be exist? What his goal? To serve Muhammad. The Prophet of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, Allah said, when Adam made mistake, he asked, oh Allah, I asked you for the sake of Muhammad to forgive me. Huh? Shabir Ali was saying we should not ask anyone for the sake of anyone except Allah. And then he said that only the one who Allah give him permission. So who is the one who will give him permission? Muhammad. For the sake of Muhammad, your sin will be forgiven. Not for the sake of Allah, for the sake of Muhammad. Allah said, Adam, how you recognize Muhammad when I have not yet created him? But do you remember that Shabir Ali said, Allahu Sami'ul Alim, which means Allah is all hearing, all knowing? How Allah is all knowing, he was surprised and shocked how Adam he recognized Muhammad. Like what? How you know? Hey Adam, how you recognize Muhammad, man? I did not create him yet. Adam, he said, look how funny child this story is. Adam said, Allah, oh Allah, when you created me and blew into me the spirit, I lifted my head and saw written on the arsh, which means the throne, La ilaha illallah Muhammad, the fraud of Allah. There's no prophet, there's no bright God but Allah and Muhammad. In the throne of Allah, there is a blasphemy against God. Allah himself, he associated the name of a man with his name written in the same throne. Why? So when Adam, he saw that name written there, Muhammad, he said, so I got to know that you would only join your name with him. Join your name. Do you see the word join? This is a Muslim website, and this is a Muslim hadith, and the one who said that, Muhammad. And this is the fatwa of Ibn Taymiyyah. There, you can click on it too. So I got to know that you would only join the truth. Or join the name of the one who is the most beloved to you. Allah himself, he commit shirk. He joined his name with the name of Muhammad. So when the Muhammadan, they speak about monotheism, Islam is the last one to speak about monotheism. And not to forget to mention Muhammad. Okay, hold on. I don't know if I should continue with the video, but let me make one more hit. In the hit, was Muhammad worshipping idols? Remember, Allah forgive not that who take other with him. Right? If there's any verse in the Quran says Muhammad he worship idols, absolutely. Let us go to the Quran. Chapter 74, verse number 5. This is the Muslim translation. What shan mean? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what shan mean in English. I don't know. Let me see. Just to see if the translation is correct. Shan mean. Look like this is a false translation. Let us get different translation. This is Yusuf Ali. They love to lie. They love it. This guy is saying shan because it should be a that the word there is about worshipping idols. Hold on. Let us try to find a little decent translation. Maybe we can get lucky. Aha! Aha! And keep away from ar-rajz. Keep away. It says keep away or leave it. Fahjur. So look, he put there ar-rajz and he put the word idols, but in the beginning he lied. It doesn't say keep away. It says leave worshipping. Uhjur, hijra. The Muslim, they say hijra. What hijra? Hijra is leaving from a place to a place. Leaving something behind. Allah saying to him, leave it. So if you don't do it, he will say to him, leave it. If he is not doing it, why Allah will say to him, leave it? Leave what? He's not doing it anyway. He should not leave anything unless he is doing that thing. Look at the translation. Stay away from the idols. Stay away from the idols? Or it says it clearly, leave the idols. I mean, I never saw really any Islamic translation have little honesty. They don't. If you remember the story of Muhammad and satanic verses, right? But let me see if I can find Ibn Kathir. Hold on. Let us see if we can get the liars busted from Ibn Kathir in English. Remember, Ibn Kathir in English is different from Ibn Kathir in Arabic. Always. All right. Chapter 74, verse number 5. Give me a second. I'll put it for you on the screen. See, this is supposedly, I said to myself, anyway, now good, the chat is off, so I will not stay for long. Yeah, right. All right. But you know, the topic is kind of complicated, so I like to cover it as much as we can. All right. Yeah, in the Ibn Kathir in English, they are saying keep away too. Let us see. You know, they are lying because Ibn Kathir in English is not the same as in Arabic. Actually, we can show it in Arabic. You know, actually in Arabic it says fajr. You know, leave it. Ibn Abbas, he said that too. Let me show you some. Let us show you how we get them busted. Because the English always, give me a second, guys. I know the screen is not showing, but we want to show you how we get them busted. Muhammad is an idol worshipper, with no question, from their books. Amazing, huh? But their lies will not work with us. I will show you the Arabic, and then what I will do, I will use Google Translation. All right? Because in Arabic it's different from English. Let us show you. I will put in the screen for you. Give me a second. This is the official government of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. قوله تعالى والرجز فهجر. And here they are saying what it's mean. يعني الأوثان, the idols. And then he say أي فترك. فترك, which mean leave it. Don't do it. Leave it. And in front of you, I'm going to click translate to English. Again, this is the official government of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Translate. I'm going to translate to Arabic. Weird. We don't want Arabic. What Arabic? Translate to Arabic? No. Give me a second. Google translating the Arabic into Arabic. Let's see now. What happened to translate? It's not working. Let us refresh the page. Maybe that will help. Where you show the translation, I mean the option to translate a page. It disappear. Okay, here we go. Let us see. It shows another language. Okay. All right. Here we go. We made it work. The Almighty says it and abomination for so forsake Almighty. Okay, and the translation is not really good. And then Mujahid and Akrama, etc. And they say the idols. The idols. So avoid abomination from the idols. Translation is very bad. But anyone, actually, you know what? I will do an easiest way. Hold on. Let us do this. I will open Google Translation. I will copy the word or sentence. Because it looks like Google is confused when we are. All right. Let us open the the thing for you. The screen. I will copy in the front of your eyes the sentence. I'll just copy from here. Copy. And then we take it to Google Translation in the front of your eyes. Paste. Then forsake it, i.e. leave it. Do you see it? They say to us, and Shabir, he said, Allah forgive not those who associate with him, other gods. If Muhammad do not worship idols, so why Allah saying to him, then forsake it and leave it? And who is the one who's saying that? The highest, the cousin of Muhammad ibn Abbas, explaining. And what he's talking about, Isaf and Naila, and idols who they have 6 in the Kaaba, Muhammad used to worship them. Let us copy in front of you just to show you we are not making things up. وقال قتادة الرجز إيساف ونائل صنمان كانا عند البيت. Let us take it. Copy. Take it to Google Translation. Isaf and Naila. Qatada said, Isaf and Naila, 2 idols were at the home, those idols. Do you see it? Muhammad was worshipping 2 idols of a man and a woman. They have 6. And actually, if you go in the Quran, you will see Muhammad, he approved the ritual of the pagan. This is how fraud he is. If you remember, when a group of the Arab, they complained to Muhammad about not following as-Safa and al-Marwa. This is about Isaf and those 2 idols who they have 6 in the Kaaba. They come to Muhammad, they said, well, you know what? We want to practice as-Safa and al-Marwa. Some Muslims, they are refusing that. They are saying this is the shrine of the pagan. But this is our shrine. What Muhammad, he said, look at this. He said, well, obviously, the Safa and Marwa are among the symbol of Allah. And there is no sin on him, the one who perform Hajj to them. So when you go to the Kaaba, you have to continue and you go to the Safa and Marwa. And now the Muslim, until now, they practice it. They start jogging between the two idols, which does not exist no more there. And it's a practice of Islam. If you go and read the interpretation for this, you would die laughing. Chapter 2, verse 158. See, the more you know about this cult, the more you find how stupid it is. 158. You see, I'm doing it in the front of your eyes. Nothing from our books, nothing from our own words. We are not giving you the interpretation of ours. This is there. This is there. Here you will see the argument. It says here that reported blah 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 from that Aisha, she said these verses revealed about helpers. Helpers is they called al-Ansar. They used to make Hajj to Manat, which was you know, part of their rituals, and they also avoid going between as-Safa and Marwa. When Islam came, they asked Allah Messenger, Allah bless him and give him peace. About this, he said, so he gave him his verse. But let us read carefully what it's going to say later. Aisha, she said, this verse was revealed about a group of people, of the helpers. Before Islam, they used to make the Hajj to Manat, and they were forbidden from going between as-Safa and Marwa. Who forbid them? Muhammad. And then they went to the to do Hajj with Allah Messenger, and they mentioned to him, you know, this issue. So Muhammad, he revealed the verse saying it is from the ritual of Allah to do it. So who is the one who forbid them? Is it Muhammad or somebody else? If it's from the ritual of Allah, and why it is from the ritual of Allah? Here you will see it says Abu Salama, Hisham, his father, says, because they were the shrine of Quraysh in the pre-Islamic period, so they were abandoned them in Islam. Then Allah revealed the verse saying, said Umar, etc. I asked Abu Umar, blah blah blah. He said, go to Ibn Abbas and ask him. And then look what they said. He said that there was an idol, it's called as-Safa, and an idol from them is a man called Isaf. So as-Safa, there's an idol there, it's called Isaf, is a man. And Marwa, in the Marwa area, there's an idol from them, it's called a woman, she is called Naila. The people of the book claim that those had committed adultery in the Kaaba, and they were punished by Allah. And here the story would get more funny. If they are punished by Allah, why people worship them? Unbelievable. So Allah, he turned them into rocks. True story. So why you are going between them? And then Muhammad, he says, there's no problem to go between them. So, you know, the complaint was, we want to do this. And they were forbidden for some time not to do it. Why? Because this is the shrine of the pagans, supposedly. And Muhammad is supposedly is coming with a new religion. Muhammad, he compromised, he changed his religion. And he started worshipping them too. And actually he was worshipping them before. As we showed you in the Quran, he was worshipping other idols too. Because the Quran did not specify which idols he was worshipping, but the Quran says, leave away those idols. Utruk. And here you see Muhammad, he compromised again, and he allowed his followers to bow down and to worship the shrines of the pagans. And not to forget the story of the satanic verses, but maybe we can talk about it later. The video is getting so long. Muhammad himself, he bowed down to the satanic, in the satanic verses story, to the idols, and it says, wasajada wasajadu, which means he bowed down, and they bowed down. Who? All the pagans with him. Why? Because he praised the three daughters of Allah. So when we get someone like Shabir Ali trying to make his God a monotheist God, it's a very funny story. Same time, what monotheism mean? One God. Just to make you understand what I'm trying to say to you. If you worship one God, 10 God, 5 God, 6 God, 1,000 God, I mean, who care? The question is this 1 or 1,000 is a true God or not? You know what I mean? If somebody is an Indian, like you know, I heard like Hindus, I saw a video of this guy. He's called him Sadhu something. Okay, he said the Hindus have 36 million God. Okay, let us say for the sake of argument, there is 36 million gods, and they all exist. And then there's no problem. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's not the problem. It's having millions of gods or one God. The problem is this even one God or 2 God or 3 God or 5 God? Are they exist? Are they true? So they try to focus in stupid things, avoiding what is important to keep you busy from their stupidity. I will put the video again of the debate. Hold on. To keep you busy from what is important, that this God cannot be God, for he is a stupid God. Have you ever heard of a God? He think that the baby is coming from a sperm coming from the ribs of the women, and the sperm of the man is coming from the backbone. Have you ever heard of a God? He think the sun set in murky water. Have you ever heard of a God? He said to his prophet that the sun goes and set every day in the throne of Allah. And this is how he explained the sunset. Have you ever heard of a God? You don't remember which one he created first? The mountains or the trees or the stars? In one chapter he said the stars, in the other chapter the stars first, the other chapter he says the opposite. Have you ever heard of a God? He says stupid things like hail come from mountains in heaven. So how many God? Who care? The question is how stupid your God is, and how God can be stupid. Otherwise, if there is a person exists in Kuala Lumpur and he worship 1 billion God, but they are a true God, then he's right. The numbers is not really important. So when a Muslim, he is so proud about worshiping one God. We worship one God. You worship one idiot God. When Muhammad, he claimed that he have knowledge from his God, and he says such a statement. This is from God? This is from God. When Muhammad, he mentioned this. This is from God. And we can go forever mentioning stupid mistakes in the Quran and in the Hadith. So I say to Muslims, I say to Christians, I say to Hindus, I say to Buddhas, be mature. Don't be a child. The Muslims always, they speak about their God as one God, and they are proud about it as if they have like accomplishment. I find it the most silly, stupid thing to say. I understand to say that you have one God, no problem. But to be so like you think you are the winner, we worship one God. There's many people worship one God. There's people who worship Satan, believe he's the only God. So worshiping one God does not make any difference. Have you ever heard of a God? He want to make Quran better than the Quran? Hey guys, I have books. I'm going to make my coming book. I promise you, is going to be better than my previous books. Well, that's possible for a human being, but for God, quality, they never change. The Muslim, they reject God to be a man, but then we find that Allah himself, he have a shin, he have hands, he have all, you know, limp. The Muslim, they say we worship one God, but then they say to us the Quran is not created. The breed of Allah is different from Allah. The Quran is not created by Allah. Okay, how you say he is the only creator and then Quran is not created? Neither by Allah, neither by anyone. So Islam is a mess. Islam is like a messed up cult. And this is what we got today. When we say Muslims, by the way, I mean, who is Muslims? Do you know who is Muslim? There's no Muslims. There's millions of sect and ideas and belief, and they contradict each other and they kill each other, and none of them agree with the other one because simply it's impossible. And you know, the funny, the Muslim, they say Islam will take over. Take over what? The world. Will dominate the world. Okay, what Islam? What Islam is going to do, you know, to dominate? Your prophet, he said Islam will start small and will end small. So even in that, you know, they are so proud about things contradict what their prophet said. Their prophet said, are you saying your prophet is a false prophet? Because he said Islam start as a small and will end as a small. And this is Sahih. He also reported God messenger is saying, Islam began as a small religion and will return to the state in which it began. Very small. Who is telling the truth? And as the Muslim, how many Muslims today? They count everybody as a Muslim. The second you start saying this sect says that, this sect says that, they say, oh, those are not Muslims. This is the stupidity and the madness of this cult. I hope this video wasn't too much long for you, but I think this is a very good study to show you. We have a lot of reference, and as you see, everything we give you, it is coming from their books. It's in the screen. It's live. You know, it's just there. Just to grab it, save it, take notes, and this is the way to learn. And by the way, the Muslims are very upset from Shabir Ali because he did so bad in the debate, as if they can do better. And I wonder, Shabir Ali, why he will not debate me? You know, I mean, he have no problem to debate anyone. All of them, they have no problem. Either they say, want to debate you face to face. Soon they will say bum to bum, shoulder to shoulder. I'm not sure what is that, but they will not debate me. Once in a debate, a Christian, he asked Shabir Ali, when you are going to debate Christian Prince? What Shabir Ali, he said? I will not believe it.
The mic right there. Hello? Yeah, I just came to ask the million-dollar question. Shabir, when will you ever debate Christian Prince? Thank you very much.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know Christian Prince, he is a personality who has been operating some sort of an internet radio broadcast, as far as I can remember. He contacted me a long time ago.
I never contacted him, and I challenge him to say I did. I never did. I don't know his email. The one who contacted him, it was ABN TV, and they contact me the same as they contacted him in separate email. They said to me, there's a person, his name is Shabir Ali, you want to debate him? I said, sure. They sent him an email saying, there's a person, he's a Christian, want to debate you? He said, sure. And then after he bought my book, he decided not to debate me. He noticed that he is no match.
asking if I would debate him, and I said yes. And then eventually I bought his book, and then I don't want to say anything about him because he's not here. But following from the correspondence and the way things were going, I felt that, you know, people, as you play ball, you play in certain leagues, right? You play in.
Yeah, you debate people who they will not speak Arabic, so you can say to them it doesn't say so. You will debate people who do not know much really about Islam, so you can say they don't say so, but you cannot get close to me. Then the second, you notice that this is an Arab. He have books about Islam, and you read my books. I mean, do you think this guy, he do not know Christian Prince? Do you really believe it? What happened is, he agreed to debate me, but he never thought this is a Christian Prince. In the beginning, he agreed. And then when they told him this is a Christian Prince, he got my book, so he can read my response. Maybe he can refute it. When he got my books, he noticed that he is no match to refute anything in the books. You know, why this guy, he don't go and say, hey, the Christian Prince in this book, he said so. Get him busted. Anyway, guys, I want to say thank you for being here. I apologize for disabling the chat. Actually, it's way better because we can concentrate in the video, in the topic, more than concentrating in people, you know, because it's impossible to satisfy people needs. God himself, people, they complain about him, so who am I? So thank you very much for being here. May the Lord bless you, and until we see you soon again, Christ is Lord, Islam is false, and don't forget to subscribe to our Patreon if you like to support us, or to like to be updated, because we change the channel where we go and where we will be live. As you see, we keep receiving strike. I just received a strike yesterday. That's why we disabled the chat. You can post comments, but any comments will be bad. I will delete it immediately because YouTube is all over me. All right? So leave your comment. You are a Muslim, you are welcome. You are a Christian, you are a Hindu, you are a Buddha, you are an atheist. You are more than welcome. Just behave and be good. God is good, and God, he don't leave his people without witnesses. And the Muslims are witnessing to us how false their prophet. From their mouth, we prove it. From their books, we prove it. It's in front of you, published by them, shared by them, translated by them, shown to you by us. God bless you. Christ is Lord. See you soon.